I often start my story by saying, before my 15th birthday, I have been jailed 9 times, twice in a state prison camp. And I want you to know you're looking at a proud and happy jailbird. Why? Because I didn't go to jail for hurting anyone. I didn't go to jail for taking anything from anyone. I went to jail for what I believed in. Now, most people say, what could a 14-year-old believe in so much she would go to jail like that? Well, my story actually starts on September the 19th, 1957. That's the day my mother died. I was 7 years old and the oldest of 4. I grew up in segregated South, Selma, Alabama. Growing up then, born black, you know you didn't like white folks. Born white, you know you didn't like black folks. But on that particular day, I found out what hate really was. You see, my mom died from complications due to childbirth. She needed some blood. There was an all-white hospital in Selma, Selma Baptist Hospital, that had the blood that could have possibly saved my mom's life. But because they didn't have Negro blood, the blood she needed had to be sent some 96 miles away from Birmingham, Alabama by trailway bus. My dad was at the bus station. He got the blood. He took it to Burwell Infirmary where my mom was. And he was told she had been dead 15 minutes. And I watched my daddy live with that guilt that he could have been quicker. He would have saved his wife. I watched him live with that guilt until he died May 2nd, 1972. My dad would often sit up and stare at the TV, the walls, at newspaper, whatever, and he'd say, 15 minutes. And I got big enough at about 16 to ask him, what did he mean? And he told me, he started crying. He said, I was 15 minutes too late with the blood that could have saved my wife and your mother. He passed those 15 minutes on to me. I often sit up and think how you can build and how you can destroy in 15 minutes. Dr. King said in his speech, you can get anybody to do anything with steady, loving confrontation. It passed by my 13-year-old ears. But the second time he said it in that speech, I distinctively heard him call my spirit. He said, Lynda, you can get anybody to do anything with steady, loving confrontation. On January 2nd, 1965, Dr. King came to Selma for a big mass meeting, and he said, starting tomorrow, we're going to start marching and going to jail by the thousands if necessary for the right to vote. I was 14 years old. Now, I couldn't vote, but I knew if my parents and those grown people had the right, they would vote for someone that would love and take care of all of us, not just a certain section of us. I told people that you're going to meet someone that'll tell you they're not going to vote. Tell them you met a woman who at the age of 14 went to jail 9 times, twice in a state prison camp for that right, for you. Tell them that you met a woman who at the age of 14 was beaten on a bridge, receiving 35 stitches for that right for you. Tell them that you met a woman who at the age of 14, name became the youngest name on the official list of 300 that was allowed to walk. And she walked those 54 miles for you. Tell them, she said, if you don't want to vote for yourself and your household, then go vote for her 35 stitches. I want to end with this. A beloved quote of mine from Dr. King. It says, power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. You see, Lynda believes that power is best when it's used to implement the demands of justice, and that justice is best when it's used to correct anything that goes against love. Dr. King also believed that love is the only force that can change an enemy to a friend. And that I found that to be an awesome truth. When at 13, he empowered me with 3 words: steady, loving, confrontation. Dr. King says, he who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as he who helps to perpetrate it. And y'all know that's a fact.